everyone, it's Ellen. I'm here to give you a little lesson tonight on making cornbread and also chicken, roasted chicken with lemon chicken, and coleslaw. So this is my dinner for tonight, and I hope everyone is well. So I'm going to start with the cornbread. So I preheated my oven to 350. A lot of recipes call for 400 for corn muffins, and that's fine if you want to do that. I just stick to 350 because my oven is a little funky, so I just kind of stick with the 350. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is cornmeal. Okay, any brand will do. This I just happened to get at Walmart for like $1.29 or something for a whole bag, so I use that. I'm using that. Okay, you're going to need flour, all-purpose flour, so I have my flour jar back here. You're going to need vegetable oil, corn oil, vegetable oil. You're going to need baking powder. You're going to need sugar. Now, if you don't want to make it with sugar, that's fine. You don't have to. You can also substitute honey if you prefer. Okay, salt. I use the kosher salt, but any salt, iodized salt, whatever is fine. Eggs. Okay, so we have eggs that we use in this recipe. And then milk. So I have whole milk tonight. I was able to get it at the store. I got it at Walmart. So yeah, so this is these are the ingredients for the cornbread. And you just mix it in one bowl. It's really pretty easy. So we'll get started. Okay. I'm gonna get my bowl. Actually, move this over here. Okay, so first I'm gonna take the cornmeal. Right, so I'm just gonna open that up. And I have my cup measures. So you can use whatever cup measures you have, glass, if you have a glass cup measure, or if you just have plastic or metal. I use metal, and the glass, but for this I'm going to use metal. Okay, so I'm just going to put a cup of the cornmeal in there, and if a little bit more goes in there, that's fine. And then I'm going to do a cup of flour. I'm low on flour in there. I have to refill that. So a cup of flour. I'm going to use 3 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm going to use my measure. Okay. So 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm going to put that right in there. And don't overdo it. You know, you can just measure the 3. I'm going to do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to take my salt, get 1/2 teaspoon out of there. Then what I do is the moist ingredients are going to go in next. The sugar. So I'll put the sugar in there too. So we're going to do 1/2 cup of sugar. You can do 1/4 cup of sugar, or you can do no sugar, whatever works for you. So I'm doing 1/2 cup of sugar. And it's a granulated sugar. So I'm going to use my whisk. I can find it. It's in the dishwasher. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to whisk together the dry ingredients just to kind of mix them, get them mixed together there. So it's the flour, the baking powder, the salt, cornmeal, all together, sugar. So we're just going to mix that together. All right, so it just looks like this. It's got, the cornmeal is a little yellow, and then we've got the flour, so yeah. All right, so now we're going to do the wet ingredients. So I'm going to put 1/2 cup of oil, and again, like, you can adjust this to your taste. If you think that's too much, you can put 1/4 cup of oil, that's fine. But I'm going to put 1/2 cup. So 1/2 cup of oil, vegetable oil or corn oil, or I wouldn't use olive oil. I mean, I stay away from that with this recipe. So then an egg. I'm just going to put an egg. Actually, I'm going to put 2 eggs. So I want it to be kind of moist. Throw it in the sink. Okay, so 2 eggs, and then a cup of milk. So I'm going to take my cup measure a cup of milk. Put that right in there. And then I'm going to use a wooden utensil and mix it together. And again, like I'm going to use my whisk. You can also, if you want to break up the eggs first, kind of stir them a little bit, mix them a little bit before you add them to the batter. That's fine. So the batter's going to come out being moist. It's going to be it's a good consistency. So I'm just doing the stirring. And again, you don't have to overdo it. Like, just mix it together, and then that way you can have a nice batter. So that's the cornbread mix. Now, if you want to do, I'm doing muffins. I just like to have that if I want to give them to neighbors. It's easier to divide, but you can do cornbread. You can do it in like a, excuse me, I don't mean to touch my face. You can do it in a square pan, or you can do it in a round pan, whatever you want to do. So that's that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the baking cups. I prefer to use those instead of shortening to put in the muffin tins, because it's like, again, if you want to share them with people, or if you want to freeze them after you make them, freeze some of them, then it's easy to kind of like store them. Okay, so I'm just going to put my muffin tins liners in there. I just get them at the dollar store. I mean, you can get them anywhere. Like, they're cheap, really reasonable. So I just put those in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill the cups about a half away full. So I take my quarter cup measure. Usually the quarter cup measure is the best measure for this. And it is very liquidy. Like, you can see, it's like, it's kind of a liquidy consistency, and that's fine. So, like, just fill them like halfway to 3/4 of a way. And they really make a nice muffin, really delicious. And like I said, adjust sugar, adjust oil the way you want to. Eggs even, like I put 2 eggs, but you can put 1 egg. If you want it to be kind of not as moist. I just like the nice rich muffins. And so that's going in the muffin tins. And if you have extra batter left over, of course, you can either wait until these are done and then make another batch, or you can, if you have another set of, muffin tins, you can, put those in there. I think it's gonna make 1.5 dozen. So I'm gonna get another. I have a 6 muffin tin. I don't even know if it'll make another 6, maybe another 3. But I'll just fill up 4. So I'm just gonna fill those up, because you don't want to overdo the filling, because the oil and the eggs and the baking powder make them rise pretty well. So you don't want them to kind of go too high, unless you like that. That's fine. Whatever works. Just put those up there. Probably not a good thing. It's gonna fall over. Yeah. So here we go. Yeah. So it's gonna make about 1 dozen and then maybe 4. So I'm gonna, or 3. Actually 4. I think it'll do 4. So 1 dozen. So 16 muffins. And what I do, I just put a little water in the tins that are not water boiler. So I'm going to put a little water in the tins that don't have any cornbread. I don't know. I was always taught that. I don't know if you have to do that, but I do. So I'm going to put these in the oven. And I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. It could take longer, but I think I want to check them at 15 minutes anyway, so I'll put them at 15 minutes. Oops. Candle there, I don't want to get burnt. Okay, so that's set for 15 minutes. I'll put everything aside, all the dirty dishes, throw the eggshells away, wash my hands. And then we're going to get on to the chicken. Okay. Wash my hands. Okay. So, all right. So the next thing we're gonna do is the lemon chicken. And this is really so easy. It's basically, my friend Dorinda in Spain was the one that taught me how to do a lemon chicken. And I think it's the easiest it's the easiest recipe ever, or preparation ever. You take a roaster chicken. I was only able to get like a pound and 7.9 ounces, 70.79 ounce chicken. It's probably good because it's not stuffed with the chemicals that the chickens that are not well treated get. So it's a small chicken. I use a whole lemon. And what I do is I poke holes in it with a fork. I'll do that in a minute. But I'm just gonna move the camera over here to the sink. All right. So I have my chicken. So like I said, it's kind of small. It's like a, what is it? 1.79 pound chicken. So it's a fairly small chicken. So what I do is I take a kitchen knife, and I just open up my chicken. So I open up my chicken. Oops. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside. So I open it up. Oops, I don't want to show my bum.